Hello, my name is Charity Kraus. So far as I know, I'm 43 years old. I was born in Norfolk, Virginia. I did not graduate college. I attended college for a short period of time. I did study technical skill and I'd hoped to do certain things. But I have to provide a full confession, not only to deal with matters related to my conscience, but because I understand factors have gotten to the point where such is necessary. In the July of 2019, in May of 2019, I met somebody. And they told me they had an extra room in their house. I was talking to them and asked them, in the course of the things that were discussed in the conversation, about where they were from. They said they were from Dallas. I told them I was doing an investigation, and part of my charges had to do with the abuse of derivatives. They explained to me that they had knowledge of derivatives, and specifically how derivatives factored into things that happened during the S&L crisis, and how that part of the mortgage scam of the 2008 timeframe had to do with abuse of derivatives. This is the first time since I had been investigating this specifically that somebody talked to me directly and affirmed that I was correct, that there was a history of abuse of derivatives, specifically derivatives connected to the financial sector, and that it could potentially be used for significant crime. And he offered me a shower, which I had only showered maybe 3 times in the past year, and so I went to his private house. I understood it was a private house, took a shower. He said that I could stay in the place. At first, it was in the front room. Within a month, I had my own room, for as long as it took for me to get on my feet, and I wouldn't be charged any rent. At some point after that, he introduced me to 2 people. One person who worked in medical insurance, another person who alleged that he was a securities broker, or rather an investment advisor. I attempted to talk to both of them. I gave both of them a copy of my resume. The person in insurance, I gave a printed copy of a presentation that I had, or an outline for a presentation I put together regarding the law and mental health service provision in the state of Texas. Another person I spoke to about potentially working on learning how to become a securities broker. I had hoped to study to get a Series 63 license, because in my experience, what had happened is my past work products had already been used for the financial sector and in connection with other people's understanding of security. I wanted to learn about it myself and then perhaps begin a process of some sort of reclamation or recharacterization that would be more authentic and accurate with what I'd done in the past, as well as what I had intended to do. I very soon found out that at least one of those people, the one who got back to me after they took my paperwork, had given me what was it, a contract agreement that I could not finish reading. As a matter of fact, I did not get past the second page. I felt it was in bad faith. I contacted him and let him know. I also understood and believed that he had actually hooked up a derivative electronic account on my identity, and that he's been using it ever since. And I have to confess that during this time, I have remained indoors. I've contacted the Supreme Court of Texas with a motion concerning the relationship of the state of Texas in consideration of the reports I filed with official agencies in the state of Texas that are now, some of which are now more than 3 years overdue. I also contacted the Texas Insurance Commission with a request for a hearing, which by law they were mandated to respond to. That never happened. And there are several years past the deadline by which they were formally and legally required to respond. They just didn't. Shortly after I moved in here, within 3 months, I met a man through him who said that he had some insurance claim with the Insurance Commission. When we first began talking, he talked to me like a human being. But after the 4th of July, when he asked me to help him pay his bills and showed me a picture of a woman dressed as a dominatrix, and I ended up leaving, our relationship changed. Sometime after that, he got a check from the Insurance Commission for a claim he had regarding towing cars during Hurricane Harvey, that he didn't get paid for his labor when he towed those cars. He got his insurance claim payout, and ever since then, I have not had one person to talk to. I confess that I have not left yet, and I am not on the streets at this time, and I have not sought out a shelter to go to. I confess I'm still living indoors. Now, I spent 3 years on the streets in an active protest. I refused to accept accommodations, indoor living accommodations, in a shelter that would require me to engage in knowingly illegal activity in order to maintain my indoor sleeping arrangement. So I chose to sleep on the streets. But after 3 years of not hearing back from anybody in 2 states, I understood the political utility of living outside and on the street. Well, whatever that actually had potentially accrued as merit had already accrued. We're coming up on 2 years. As a matter of fact, in less than 20 days, it's going to be 2 years since I moved into the location I'm at right now. And I confess, I have not left yet. I have no intention of leaving. It's not my responsibility under these circumstances to have to go out again on the street and be subjected to torture, not really so different from what I've been subjected to inside. Just while I'm inside, I can record it. I can keep track of it a little better and in a different manner. I confess, I'm not on the streets. Right now, I'm not literally on the streets. Is there anything else